So welcome back everyone. This is gonna be our last video for this section. In this video, we are gonna learn about our next game that we are gonna build up, that is Mr. Smiley Finder. So it's again a guessing game. We are gonna correlate again a random function and use everything that we have learned before: loops, if-else statement, conditional statement, everything. We are gonna use them up into this. So let's look into the logic behind this. So we have three houses, and Mr. Smiley is a person who might be a thief who is hiding in one of these three houses, and we have to find him. Okay, you being a detective, you have to find out in which house Mr. Smiley is hiding. Okay, so let's look into the logic of what I am exactly saying. So let's say there are three houses, one house, two. So I'm not that good in drawing, but let's say. So this is Mr. Smiley. Okay. And this guy is hiding in any one of the house. Okay. House A, B, C. Or let's say house 0, 1, and 2. So Mr. Smiley is hiding in one of the three houses, and you have to find out, you have to guess out which of the three houses Mr. Smiley is hiding. So each time you run out the code, it will be Mr. Smiley will be hiding in a new place. So this is you. Let's say this is you. Let's give you some here. Okay, you are a detective, and you have to find out that every time you write out this block of code. Let's say this is a block of code. Every time you run it off, Mr. Smiley will be hiding in any of the three houses, naming 0, 1, and 2. Now, how to break out the logic behind this? The houses are nothing but list. Let's make this as a list. And any one of the houses will be having a smiley face, and others will be having, let's say, two sad faces. And you have to find out in which house Mr. Smiley is there. So you have to pass out the shuffle function over here. It will shuffle out the list, and you have to guess out. Quite the same thing that we have been doing, but let's break it out in Jupyter Notebook. I hope the theory behind it, the logic behind it is quite clear. Okay, we have a list which is actually the houses. Okay, and Mr. Smiley is one of these three. One of these three will be Mr. Smiley, and you as a detective, you have to find out at which index. Maybe at index 1, 0, or 2. Any one of that, he will be present, and you have to guess out. So what we are going to do, we are just going to pass out list, that is our list, and in our list we are going to pass out the index that you have given. So let's say you have given 0. So in list of 0 we have Mr. Smiley Finder, so we are just going to do list of 0 is this. Okay. Then it will be Mr. Smiley. So something like this. Let's write it once more. List, let's take 0, and we are going to check if that's an smiley face. Okay, we are going to have this in a list. If this is true, then your choice is true, else it will be false. Okay, else it's going to be false. So that's the logic behind this list. Let's jump into a Jupyter Notebook and code it out. So here we are in a Jupyter Notebook. In this, I have just added out three cells for you guys, where I've just written out the name. Guess where Mr. Smiley is hiding. These are the three houses: house 0, house 1, and house 2. In any one of these houses, Mr. Smiley is hiding, and we have to find him out. So let's code it out, the logic behind it, and how to implement it. In this, we are going to use a new thing, that is shuffle function. So I'm going to use from random import, make sure there's no typo, import shuffle. Let's call it out. Let's write out over here for your ease, importing shuffle module from your random library. Okay, that's it. Now let's create a list that will be having all the houses. So let's create three houses: house 1, house 2, house 3. In house 1 let's have Mr. Smiley in one of those house. So let's create Mr. Smiley. So for creating my Mr. Smiley, I'm gonna write this house one. Let's create one more, two more houses. Okay, let's create a sad face, and let's have one more. Let's create. Okay. So let's look into LST. So LST is this. Now let's pass the shuffle function. So let's pass shuffle LST and check LST now. So each time I run it off, so let's copy this, paste it out. Let's delete up this cell and let's run it off. Let's print LST. So each time you run it off, you will see that Mr. Smiley's house is changing. So currently is in index 0, then he is in index 1, then 2, then again in 1, then in 2 again, then again in 1. So every time you run it off, it will be in a different position. So that's all for this video. In our next video, we are going to look into the logic building session for this game, and then we will wrap up this section of ours. So let's hop into our next video.